Hey everybody, welcome to another Street Cam with Gino. Sorry about yesterday, I just lost my voice. Um, Very exciting here in Canada. America is now the fourth territory, joking aside, due to the fact that Donald Trump was trying to claim to be the 51st state, but we took care of that in the hockey game. So Canada still owns USA. In 20 games, Canada's won 15 of them. Enough said. This is a podcast all about wrestling. Sorry guys, I just finished fixing the mic there. Um, Before we break down what happened in SmackDown, it's time to go on the rant to start the show off because there's just more and more bizarreness that comes out of AEW. And I don't know if you guys saw what happened on Wednesday, but, and don't worry, we're going to get to what happened with Nia Jax on SmackDown as well. But I think the most cringy, awful, god awful produced segment of 2025 just happened, and we're only 2 months into this year. And it involved a person who I think is extremely overhyped. And I've talked to a few other wrestlers, and they all agree with me on this. That being Thunder Rosa and the chair spot. And I also believe that it looks like Megan Bain went to business for herself, and so did Penelope Ford, and poor Chris Statlander's on the ground realizing not what the fuck to do. She just didn't move. But if you guys have not seen this, just go on either Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, whatever you want to go on, and you will see um one of the cringiest things you'll probably ever see in your life. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'll break it down in Cliff's Note. Thunder Rosa comes running to the ring. It looks like she's having trouble running with the chair to start with. Like, how many wrestlers have trouble running with the chair? Maybe you change your footwear, because I don't think she's been wearing the shit she was wearing, and she misjudged how short the ramp was, I guess, and she's been with the company for how long, and she still doesn't know how short the ramp AEW has is. To make matters worse, she tried to get in the ring with the steel chair, couldn't do that. Attempted to, I don't know, swing it or threaten to swing it or I don't know what, and kind of paused, stared, paused again, and then her and Penelope Ford were like playing tug of war with the chair while Megan Bain just staring at them, and I don't know what happened at this point. But Chris Statlander just rolled around to try and save the segment because she got beat by Megan Bain, sorry, in a very, very, very good match. Unfortunately, this part of that match will steal the fact that the match itself was amazing. Two very big women slapping women meat, I guess you can say. Tony behind me also agrees that that was a very uncomfortable spot to happen. Right, Tots? You can hear her in the background. She's getting upset about it. And the reason why I said this has to do with production meetings is Tony Khan doesn't believe in production meetings. He just flies his talent the day of the show from wherever they are. They do their show and then they go home. They don't rehearse anything. They don't get together and pre-plan how things are supposed to go in their matches. It's it's just mind-boggling how a company that's supposed to be this important to the industry and be this much of a competition to WWE just can't get their shit together. Um, I don't know if a lot of you guys listen to Busted Open Radio. As you can see in the background, I'm still bragging because you can see the Canucks hat of Canada is still number one. But side note, if you listen to Busted Open Radio, um, Bully Ray said something and it begs to be true, and I want somebody to prove me wrong. And that was he said AEW has gone downhill ever since Cody Rhodes left. And you know what? A lot of people can hate on Cody Rhodes, but the company 1000% has not been the same since Cody Rhodes left. I don't care what anyone wants to say. It's kind of true. He seemed to be able to like plot the storylines, control everything, and see what like have things continue. Granted, he was part of some cringy ones, like the Anthony Gogo one. Side note: what the fuck happened to Anthony Gogo? He was part of something, then he disappeared, then he came back and was a part of something again, and then he was just randomly gone again. So just as a wrestling fan, and I'm not trying to shit on AEW because I do watch it, and I try and follow it, but it's very, very confusing, and now I understand why. Because one week to the next, they don't seem to know what the hell they're doing. I guess the fact that they don't do production meetings kind of has to explain a lot of what they're doing and why they're doing it and how they're doing it. It just doesn't make sense at all, to me at least. Right, Clutch? She's coming back in for another comment here. Um, yeah, they just don't know what they're doing. I don't know if I blame it all on talent, but the fact that talent may not want to do production meetings, but apparently, from what I've been told backstage, a lot of them are getting frustrated with the fact that there is no production meeting, so therefore they don't know what they're supposed to do for the week. And then when it's time to do their segment, they kind of just go out there and wing it. How is a nationally televised wrestling show not doing production? It doesn't make sense. Now, do you understand why I say there's leagues to this, levels to this shit, and why they always say it all the time in WWE for certain things? It's because there is. WWE rehearses for hours before they go on air. I know people that have been enhancement talent for WWE, and they've told me that even with the enhancement talent, they treat them like they're part of the family. They get them to rehearse everything. They bring them in early. They do their things with them. With AEW, they're like, oh, okay, because I know the same talent's gone to AEW. And they're like, okay, you're here, you're wrestling this person. And then that's it. That's all they tell them. Not how the match is supposed to go, but they know they're losing because they're the enhancement talent. That's about all they know. They don't know if they're getting anything in, if they're just going to get squashed, if there's going to be like a pre segment before, or if they're going to get an entrance. I guess my point for this is, and I've said this repeatedly, and I don't want it to happen because I think competition is good in wrestling, but I have a feeling that AEW is going to be WCW and be gone within the next 2 years. Unfortunately, it just unless they get somebody else who has a clue what the hell they're doing, not a mark wrestling, like running the company because his dad got a lot of money and letting inmates run the asylum, a what's called also known as WCW. Because if you ask anybody from the late '90s and very early 2000s, they said the exact same thing. The inmates ran the asylum. Bischoff lost control. Um, Russo had no control, no respect, no nothing. And it kind of seems like Tony Khan's the same thing. Like I said like, a couple weeks ago, those videos of him hugging all his wrestlers and trying to be friends was very cringy. And now the fact that I just found out they don't do production meetings, I don't understand what they actually do at this company. Not that I'm a part of it or I really understand the wrestling business outside of being a fan, but there has to be production meetings. It just the whole thing stems and got bigger and bigger developments due to the fact of that Thunder Rosa thing. Like nobody knew what the hell they were doing. You kind of see their fear in Thunder Rosa's eyes because she didn't know what she was supposed to do. Megan Bain and Penelope Ford had no idea what they were supposed to do. So you could see Penelope Ford just kind of trying to save the segment by grabbing the chair, and Megan Bain was just circling and doing nothing. Also, side note, Megan Bain is extremely, I think, I don't know if the word's overrated, but underdeveloped or valued, or I don't know what to say, because every time this girl comes out, there's no reaction whatsoever. And I've talked to a few friends who work in the industry, and they want to say the same thing. I'm not going to name names, but all of them have said Thunder Rosa is the most overhyped, under talented person in the entire business. I've said it from a long time. I don't think Thunder Rosa, besides that one Britt Baker match, I've never seen anything impressive from Thunder Rosa, to be honest. If you actually watch her matches, she fucks up a lot. You have to actually pay attention. And I thought everyone was blaming Ivelisse for sandbagging. Yeah, and Ivelisse did sandbag, but that's because if you actually watch it, Thunder Rosa was doing it on pretty much every move Ivelisse was trying to do on her. And yet it cost Ivelisse her contract, and Thunder Rosa got to keep hers. Who was she sleeping with? I'm joking, of course, but something's fishy there, isn't it? I know Thunder Rosa has her own promotion. I've seen some of her matches there, including one with Izzy Moreno. I thought Izzy Moreno, who's only been wrestling for like 2 or 3 years, 2 years, sorry, probably at least, did better than that match than Thunder Rosa did. I just don't see anything special with Thunder Rosa. And I think this Wednesday completely proved to me that there is nothing special with Thunder Rosa. Sorry, guys, I'm talking to my dog. She wants to go out, and I'll let her out after the show. All right, let's go into I don't know if you want to call it an underwhelming SmackDown, a weird SmackDown. Um, but it was Road Dogg's very first SmackDown in charge as head writer. And I don't know if there's going to be very many more, so I'm just going to message here, guys. Um, it wasn't a memorable event, to be honest with you guys. I wrote down some notes, but I kind of wrote them down in cliff notes because it was just kind of weird. It was all over the place. Like Cody Rhodes gets to the arena and immediately, well, the night before, if you guys saw my short, you find out The Rock is just randomly going to be on SmackDown. And a lot of people are confused by this segment we're going to talk about later, but it makes sense to me if you're a diehard old school wrestling fan. And I don't want to make reference to the one person, but I think WWE kind of did a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but didn't mention the two people involved. And we'll talk about that when we get to it. But as soon as we get to the arena, Cody Rhodes is told he is no longer in a triple 3-on-3 tag team match. It's going to be Braun Strowman and Damian Priest. Sorry, guys. Worked again today, and it's been a long, long week. Um, it would not be Braun Strowman and Damian Priest versus Jacob Fatu and Kamatonga, which we later find out it's going to be Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. And I'll explain that in a minute too. And then we find out Cody's not in the match because The Rock wants to talk to him later in the ring. SmackDown kicks off with a banger of a match and probably one of the better segments on the entire show with a good long time story, and I think there's going to be more story added to it. We get Drew McIntyre and Big J, Big J, Jey Uso. He's not down since day one, or he is down since day one ish, but he's got no yeet. Yeet. And also, side note before you keep going, that fuck everyone who's not buying tickets just because they don't want to see Jimmy Uso wrestle the main event of WrestleMania. That guy's deserved it, earned it, and should be applauded for the effort that man's put in and completely changed himself. Go back and just watch some of his old matches on the net on sorry, now Netflix. Just go back and watch the rivalry between the Usos and the New Day. Holy Jesus fuck. What a rivalry matches those were. And if you guys don't respect that, then you're not actually wrestling fans. And no offense, like I'm not his biggest fan, but the man's earned our respect and the fact to actually have a chance of main event to Mania. He won't be because that's not going to be a main event match. It may kick off a show, but he earned the right to win a Royal Rumble, in my opinion. The guy is the most over thing in wrestling in the last year and a half, 2 years at least, since his cousin Roman. And now Big Jim is getting involved with it too. So Roman's kind of prophecies come to truth because all his family's just getting more and more huge, and we're gonna see more of them soon. But Big Jim and Drew McIntyre actually kicked off this week's SmackDown. What a match! Something to say personally. I know a lot of people thought it was kind of weird and clunky. I loved it. From the story to the actual physicality of it to that nasty reverse Alabama slam into the steel stairs. A lot of really cool spots. A few too many super kicks, for my opinion, and great chemistry between the two guys. Just I didn't like the amount of super kicks because I remember when the super kick used to be heralded as one of the best finishing moves in wrestling. Now people just use it not even as a transition move or a setup move, just as it's there in their arsenal. Nobody does it more than the young cringe or young bucks, whatever you want to call them. Um, but actually, shocker in this one. I think I kind of could tell halfway through the match that Big Jim was going to win the match due to the fact that Drew was dominating a lot of it, and he actually got him. And I think this was a little bit of a oops. I don't use the word botch because I don't like that word. Kind of like Jericho says, and I agree with him. We're not wrestlers. We don't get to say that. You can say whatever you want as a fan, but I don't like the word botch. I think it's just an awful, awful word. What if you went to work and you broke something? Is that a botch? Or you did the wrong thing at your job? Is that called a botch? Can a wrestler come up to you and say botch? They're humans. They fuck up. We fuck up. Guess what? Shit happens. But anyways, the way they transitioned from the mess up even made it more brilliant because I think they realized they messed up, and Drew so and Jimmy, being the utter professionals they are, were able to configure, and it was kind of like the own Heart Bret Hart thing, where Drew went for another reverse Alabama slam. Big Jim, caught him mid move, rolled him up, surprise roll up, 1, 2, 3, and then Drew kicked the ever living crap out of him after the match. Um, quote here. We had The Miz and Mello backstage with R-Truth. R-Truth is a national treasure. Just go watch everything this guy did on Netflix yesterday. That's all I'm gonna say about that. He even said he had an Louisiana legend as his tag team partner. Because for the first time ever, it was going to be R-Truth versus Mello. Mello's like, we wrestled last week, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about. He's like, no, it's the first time ever. And then Miz came out and said, yeah, he's right, the tag team match. And nobody talks like this, as Simon Miller like to say, but I think the worst tag team name ever invented just was mentioned. Mello don't Miz. Holy Jesus Christ. That is no. No, 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 no. Don't ever say that again. That's one of the worst things I've ever heard, in my personal opinion. Mello don't Miz? Come on, man. That should just be like I think they should keep the Miz away from Mello. Mello should be able to do his own thing. Mello should be going after the United States championship still. I think that dude's a mid should be mid card to heavyweight champion soon. He's absolutely charismatic as hell. The dude is amazing in the ring. He's built decently for a guy his size. He's got the looks. He kind of reminds me of a '90s Shawn Michaels, if that makes sense to you guys. And his girlfriend down in NXT is drop dead beautiful. Kalani Jordan, for those of you that don't know. Um, well, yeah. So right after that interaction, we had the tag team match, and the Louisiana legend is Los Angeles Knight. Or sorry, Louisiana Knight, as R-Truth called him, but it was actually just LA Knight. Sorry, just the way they did this, I'm like I can't stop thinking about it. And like LA is Louisiana, or ooh, excuse me, Los Angeles, and it was just absolutely brilliant. The fact that Ray Bear's like, no, he's not from Louisiana. He's from Wisconsin or Maryland. Sorry, not even close to close. Truth. And then there's a few funny comedy spots, and not if comedy wrestling is enough for everybody. Like Simon Miller, who's part of the What Culture crew. I love comedy wrestling. There's a hilarious spot where R-Truth is actually doing his John Cena things, and then had Carmelo Hayes on the mat on his back and counted 1, 2, and Carmelo Hayes kicked out, and he looked at me he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "John tried to pin you." Because R-Truth countered 1, 2 with an invisible person on top of Carmelo Hayes, and then after that tried to tag in the Miz. He thought he was still tag team partners with the Miz. Great spots. That's all I'm gonna say. R-Truth is gold. That's all I'm going to say. This man should never go away, and if he does retire, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. He just gets what he's supposed to do. He's brilliant at it. Unfortunately, Mello don't miss. Oh god, I can't believe I keep saying that name. They pick up their first tag team win due to the fact that Nakamura, took out LA Knight outside the ring, and we're continuing that food. Nakamura and LA Knight. We'll probably have LA Knight win the championship at the Chamber next weekend, or the SmackDown before the Chamber. One of the two. We'll see. Um, but that belt should definitely go back on LA Knight because Nakamura's done nothing since he won it, and I'm a huge Nakamura fan, but they've done nothing with him since Summer Survivor Series. Nothing at all. Sorry, guys. I just can't remember him being on TV besides having one title defense versus LA Knight. Following that, sorry guys, I'm crossing my stuff here. Um, we had Tiffany versus Charlotte little video feud, and as Charlotte promo package, brilliant, telling her she's the best and nobody wants to be, or everyone wants to be her, but nobody will ever be her. She's a spectacle, blah blah blah. And not trying to make fun of Charlotte, but can you say way too much plastic surgery or surgery gone bad? I don't know if you guys. He kind of reminds me. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. But plastic surgery just not go well for her this time around. That's all I'm going to leave it at. But yes, we had the little promo package, and that's because we were getting Tiffany versus Candice due to last week, and Candice and Nia taking out Tiffany. But we're getting Tiffany and Trish versus Candice and Nia at Elimination Chamber. That's gonna be a fun match. And we'll get to the incident with Nia later on. But I love how WWE's finally giving Candice her flowers on the microphone because this girl is, I don't know how many times I gotta say it, how many times I gotta scream it to the rooftops. I've been a fan of Candice LeRae for, God, probably 15, 16, 17 years now. Well, before she ever came to WWE. And the rest of the world is finally getting to see how fucking good this girl is. Go back to her run in the Indies with PWG or CZW or Shimmer or Shine or Japan or anywhere. Just anywhere and anywhere. Go see her run this World Cubes tag team with that piece of shit Joey Ryan. And for those of you that don't know why Joey Ryan's a piece of shit, go look up his story. Um, but yeah, Candice and Tiffany, yeah, there's a little bit of cringy moments, and I think it might have gone a little too long. And you could tell Candice was not winning this match once again due to the fact the amount of offense she was able to do to Tiffany, kind of like a couple weeks ago when she beat the ever living crap out of a returning Alexa for a few for half that match. Ends with Tiffy hitting the PME, prettiest moonsault ever. And then right after that, gets attacked by Nia and Candice. Trish randomly comes out, makes a save, and then I don't know what you want to call it, but Toronto should be the last time we ever see Nia Jax on a WWE television program. And I understand it's her job to get heat, and she's getting it from fans in the crowd and people like me on the internet who just talk nothing but shit about her. But she fucked up 3 times. There's a moonsault spot where Tiffany went to the top to do her moonsault, and Candice was in the right spot to catch her, but Nia was probably a good 2 minutes late and almost missed and kind of caught her. But if Tiffany would have landed any stiffer, she would have shattered both her ankles, 1000%. And I mean, not even trying to climb on the ropes is difficult to watch at this point. I mean, I remember WWE told Yokozuna he was too big, and they had to send him to weight loss camp. Maybe, and I'm not trying to body shame or be an ass or anything, because I'm not the skinniest or biggest of people either. Maybe they should do that tonight at this point because you could tell it's very difficult for her to move, and it's very difficult for some of the girls in the ring to move with her. And I understand she's trying to protect both Tiffany and Trish, but um, the Annihilator, whatever the fuck they call her bonsai drop, it gets worse and worse every week, and this might have been the single worst thing I've ever seen in my life. She legitimately just fell and sat on them. And you could tell in both their eyes when they're trying to sell it, when they rode up the ring, like, oh god, that was bad. That was bad. That was bad. That was bad. Like you could tell Trish was kind of angry and not, and Tiffy had to roll away from the camera to hide her disappointment and anger, but she still sold it as she rolled into the middle of the ring, still clutching her ribs. And the other part of the bad part of this is the fact that just making her so weak is every time that she seems to be with Charlotte, Charlotte has the upper hand. Tiffany's on the ground, destroyed. Is Tiffany? I know she's a baby face now, but she's supposed to be a weak, pathetic bimbo baby face. Because at least Rhea had some retort or action going in towards Charlotte in both their matches, and Tiffany just gets her ass kicked every time when Charlotte's around. So it's making Tiffany weak to the point that Charlotte can easily walk over, which makes no sense. I know there's still 2 months to Mania, but the build for this match has been absolutely horrible. Horrible, 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 horrible. And also, let's talk about the cringe Charlotte doing commentary. She's supposed to come out and do commentary. Here's Charlotte doing commentary, guys. I have a headset on. Charlotte, can you say something? Thanks for your input, Charlotte. That was the commentary from the match. She just sat there and stared with the headset on. And you could tell Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore trying to get her to talk, but I think she either forgot her lines or was, I don't know what she was doing, but she legitimately sat there with the headset on and did nothing. So that for me was a very forgettable segment. The very first hour, hour and a half of SmackDown, I think in general, very forgettable. I like SmackDown, I like WWE, but also like a few people have said, 3 hours is too long. Too long, too long, too long. Um, then we had another probably great segment, arguably probably the best, one of the three best segments on the night. If you haven't seen it yet, go look at Kevin Owens' promo right outside Sami Zayn's house. That's all I'm gonna say. Just Kevin Owens plays an insanely good, insane person. That's all I'm gonna say. Go check it out. I'll leave that there. It is. You have to watch it. Find it on YouTube. Find it on his Instagram. Find it on WWE's Instagram. Find it on his Twitter. You can find it anywhere you want. It is brilliant. It shows you how deranged and out of his mind Kevin Owens actually is. He's doing an amazing job of selling this, as is Sami Zayn. Um, I mean, sorry guys, I'm checking my notes to make sure. Yes, yes, this. We had a wicked Zelina Vega promo package, hyping her up. Hopefully they don't like. I've heard a few people talk about like. Hopefully they don't do like they used to, where she's tiny like they did with Chad Gable and use her height as her thing, because we don't need a Shorty Z. So Shorty G was awful in and of itself. We don't need to make fun of people's heights or like talk about their heights and this or that or the other thing. I'm a short person. I don't get offended by it. I'm not a height challenged person. I'm just not a very tall person, as you'd like to say. I'm not a midget. So that's what I was looking for. I'm trying to be politically correct. I am short, but I am not a midget. She's a short woman, yes. But it doesn't have to be what she is. Selena Vega is extremely talented in the ring. Very good on the microphone. Probably one of the very best women in the on the company in the microphone. Better than I am, clearly, because I can't speak at the moment. But the promo package and her ability to deliver it and the video in and of itself, very, very cool. Can't wait for it to actually debut again on SmackDown. It's been a few weeks and she was randomly traded and nothing done with. There was a little tease about her going up to Chelsea Green. That randomly disappeared, as did Mia Yim and Brianna Brandy, whatever you want to call her. B-Fab. Um, Speaking about Chelsea Green, we actually had her backstage saying she wants to be in the Elimination Chamber. The fact that it's in Toronto, Nick Aldis, like, you lost. Or sorry, not, yeah, Nick Aldis, and he just walked away. So hopefully we get something from Chelsea Green due to the fact that it's in Toronto. Um, Chelsea Green was only going to, Chelsea Green Hervis, aka Piper Niven, were only on this show for about 7 seconds. That in and of itself, a shame. And then we had a little bit more of a tease. Because we had Naomi and Brianna, what's her name? Bianca Belair backstage talking about how they haven't been able to talk to Jade Cargill because she is unable to text. How about call her? Somebody can't text, you called them. How can you not text due to your injuries? Makes no goddamn sense because they said they haven't heard from her in a while and they don't know how she's doing, but they texted her, they don't call her. Sorry, if my friend gets injured and they can't text me and I haven't heard from them in a while, I'm calling them. That's my personal opinion. Like, I understand the story's just all over the place and it makes no sense and it's got to end soon. It's going to end on Monday Night Raw when one of the two turns on each other and Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez become tag team champions. And if it doesn't end then, it's going to end Sunday in the Elimination Chamber when I think Bianca Belair eliminates and destroys Bianca Belair. Naomi destroys Bianca Belair in the Elimination Chamber, and then Jade tries to make the save, and Naomi destroys her too on SmackDown. But this story's got to end soon. I think we might have a three-way at Mania between the three of them, and it'll be athletic and it'll be fun. Sorry guys, I'm just giving my screen a little white there. But a very interesting, awkward segment between them with Byron Saxon interviewing them, which led to a tag team match. It's never happened due to the fact that there was restraints to this show due to The Rock returning. And well, Naomi made her entrance, and then they got absolutely obliterated by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, so that match never actually happened. They just left the ring after they kicked their ass. So I guess Raw, we're gonna have new champions. And then The Rock came out, and right away, first thing I noticed, we saw my Shorty and The Rock has a new sort of theme song. We find out Lil Wayne does the rapping on it. The Rock is a dire Lil Wayne and New Orleans rap band, as he says later on in the post-show press conference. Very interesting twist on his music. Very cool. And then how many different times did The Rock turn heel face, heel face, heel face, heel face during that entire, I don't know if it was like 15, 20 minutes or however long it was. Parts of it were kind of awkward and cringy. Parts of it were absolutely brilliant. Personally, I loved it. I know it's getting a lot of either heat or love on the internet. I think it was brilliant. I think it further continues the story. I think it's going to be, if you're a long-term wrestling fan, you know exactly what that is. Um, and if you're not, in 1998, Stone Cold Steve Austin was the ultimate babyface and champion that everyone in the crowd absolutely loved and adored and everything else. He randomly became the face of the WWE's corporate division as he was the champion for Vince McMahon and became very evil and pretty much Vince's puppet. And I think WWE trying to hint, nudge, nudge towards that with Cody is a lot of people, and I'm not, like I say, I'm not a fan of superhero things or comics in general. A lot of people say he's becoming this Homelander character. My buddy explained it to us a few weeks ago. Colin, remember he got in the Royal Rumble there? I see it happening now. You can tell Cody's kind of becoming, I don't know if twisted or deflected or I don't know if the word's conflicted. Yeah, there's the word I'm looking for, conflicted. Or if the belt's corrupting him. Or if he just doesn't know which direction to go in. But you can tell in his face there's something that's eating at him. And The Rock dropped one of the lines of the night. He just looked at me and said, I want what you have. And oh yes, also before that, WrestleMania 42 is going to be New Orleans. So it's what, the third time and second time in what, 10 years? I'm a person who wants to go to I'm a person that wants to go to New Orleans at one point. Maybe I'll get the funds together and I'll be able to go to WrestleMania next year in New Orleans. We'll see. It'd be cool to go down there and actually do some live shows from New Orleans. It'll be very, very cool. But the line of the night, The Rock looks at him and goes, I want what you have. And Cody goes, what? WWE title? No, no, no. Your soul. Just so calmly says it. The Rock either like the fact that he's on the head of the board and good friends with everybody in TKO and all that bullshit. He's clearly the Vince McMahon character at this point, just being a different version of Vince. And I guess he wants the Raw Cody to be his heel champion. He's because he said he wants Cody to be his champion, so you know, guys know what that means. He also brings up the fact that Cody cost him his spot versus his cousin last year at Mania, and he slapped The Rock and lived because The Rock won't let and just anybody live. Um, I don't know. You guys give me your thoughts below with what happened there. I thought it was. I loved it. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was one of the better parts of a rather long, drawn out SmackDown, in my personal opinion. And then we had more teasing towards the fact we're gonna have Joe Solo and Tama absolutely destroy Jacob because remember Solo told Jacob he's running plays now. Well, halfway through Solo's promo, Jacob cuts him off and cuts an absolutely brilliant promo for Damian Priest and Braun Strowman versus them. They come out to Jacob's music. Great tag team match, great storytelling. Halfway through the thing, Jacob's Fatu accidentally hits Solo Sikoa with a super kick, and if you actually look at Jacob's face, he does not seem upset at all about the fact of what he did. He kind of seems kind of pleased with himself, and he then gets destroyed by Braun Strowman outside the ring. Could probably came in and made the save, didn't let it happen. And Solo Sikoa ate the South of Heaven, and Braun Strowman and Damian Priest defeat them. And you can tell something's going to happen at some point. I don't know if it's going to be an Elimination Chamber, if it's going to be a SmackDown next week, if it's going to be after Elimination Chamber. But I think at some point, Jacob and Tom are going to turn on Solo. It has to happen. You know it has to happen. I don't know if it's going to be because of The Rock. And Jacob and Tom are going to be part of The Rock's crew with Cody. Or if Jacob and Tom are going to be the other people to destroy Cody at Elimination Chamber for The Rock with Solo. And Roman makes a save. Who knows what's going to happen? We could be teasing and completely going completely different directions than we all think they are. We may even get The Rock versus Cody at Mania, and I don't think a lot of people want to see that. I personally don't. I love The Rock, but I don't think The Rock should be wrestling anymore. Period. I think Mania 41 should be the last wrestling Mania. Wrestling match, not Mania, sorry. he's good, but I think he's only good if he has people around him to protect him in tag match styles. Um, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about on this show. Like I said, I'd be rating shows and everything now. Oh yeah, we also had DIY versus Pretty Deadly. I forgot to mention that. That was a decent tag team match. Gets interrupted by the Street Profits, where then gets Marching Machine Guns then come out. Sorry, Street Profits absolutely destroy everybody. So that's kind of leading towards four-way tag team match or tag team titles, where they hopefully go on Street Profits at WrestleMania. Because I love DIY, Triple H loves DIY, but they get no reaction whatsoever. Machine Guns got one reaction when they first debuted, and that was it. And I don't get why there's no reaction for Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly are fucking incredible. Why they took him away from Nia Jax so quickly when she was the queen of the ring and the champion, and then they just randomly just left her group. Just parts of it kind of don't make sense, but it's not like AEW where everything makes no sense. Before I sign off on this, guys, I'm talking to a buddy of mine at work who's also a wrestling fan, and he agrees with my theory here. WWE is teasing Moose versus Oba, and Cora versus Master Slamovich actually has on tease. That's actually happening for TNA Impact, whatever you want to call it. Um, what if Cora becomes champion over an Impact and Moose becomes NXT champion? I mean, they should do something crazy like that. Just once again, one up what AEW does, because AEW just takes titles from their partners and does nothing in return for them. Point in case, why Stefan Kerr's in NXT now, due to the fact that AEW's taken the New Japan Strong Championship from two New Japan wrestlers and never repaid anything. Kind of why New Japan is pissed off with AEW. But what if they did that? Since it's into branding, would anyone be upset with the fact of Moose being NXT champion or Cora being Impact champion, Impact Women's champion? Sorry, I think Cora Jade's extremely criminally underrated for how good that girl actually is. That's just food to thought. That's food to chew on, I'll say. And we'll talk to you guys in a few days. I'm going to be watching NXT today, and we'll be doing a review tomorrow on NXT Takeover Brooklyn 2015. Peace out, guys.